The slasher film Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare is another horrible installment in this long-running franchise. I've forgotten the plot to this one as well, even though I had saw it beforehand, because this one right here is just a straight-up bore fest, to be honest. Money is the main reason why this franchise was continuing at this point with mediocre entries, because it for damn sure wasn't the story. And speaking of which, taking place 10 years later, Freddy Krueger returns once again, this time with his intention to take out Springwood's last surviving teenager. Plus, there is also a woman who has a personal connection with Freddy as well. Man, New Line Cinema was really grasping for a good idea here. It's too bad they couldn't find it, because the story and acting are horrendous, the characters annoyed me, and I generally just did not care about this film as a whole when it was all said and done. Nonetheless, 7 years after the original Nightmare on Elm Street, this entry didn't do anything but sour the franchise even more, and it also made a lot of fans angry as well. Despite this movie making $34 million at the box office, it was another embarrassment for this franchise, especially for the horror icon Freddy Krueger. Now, Robert Englund, he still does a good job portraying this character, but at this point, Freddy's being made to look like a joke, a parody of how menacing he used to be. Him riding the broom like he's the witch from the Wizard of Oz, or how about when he's playing a video game later on in this film? I'm like, really? I cannot take this villain like seriously. I get he's supposed to be a parody in this, but that's what makes the whole thing not worthwhile whatsoever. And then there's Maggie. I thought that Lisa Sane did a okay job with the character. When it's revealed later on that she's actually the daughter of Freddy, I'm like, really? What is this recon BS? Like, I can't stand that. Not only is it a slap to the face of the canon, but how in the hell are you going to bring in a family member like in this sixth entry here? That doesn't make any sense. To make matters worse, this was the disappointing ending of this timeline, because Wes Craven's New Nightmare is a standalone, and that film is actually better than this, but we'll get to that eventually. Not only that though, but the other characters, no one really stands out. Not Spencer. Well, I won't say he stood out. He kind of was funny, only when he was acting like that video game character because Freddy was controlling him. I laughed at that scene, just how absurd it was. And then there's John Doe, really not interesting character whatsoever. And of course, there was also Tracy. You know, this film is awful when the ending, they actually say, well, one of the characters, I should say, Freddy's dead, and then it fades to black. Yeah, one of the worst endings in a horror film that I've seen in the last couple of years. Now, did I like anything about this? Not necessarily. I mean, I think it's a dumpster fire. There's nothing really remotely good here other than Robert Englund's acting. But it's just that this franchise really should have gotten more respect at this point if these last three films were worth a damn. Overall, I don't like this film. I despise it. It doesn't make any sense. It is so horrible that I'm never going to watch this ever again, because there are better entries in this franchise, such as the first and third movie. And well, everything else is just mediocre to downright terrible, in my opinion. I'm giving this film a 4 out of 10. Yeah, here's another half-assed continuity error. Somehow Freddy is able to make the people at the shelter forget John, Spencer, and Carlos after he kills them. I'm like, what? When the hell has he had the power to do that? It just don't make any sense. It's like the writers didn't watch part one before making this film. And I'm like, why even make this mediocre product if you're not going to stay true to the lore from the first film? One last thing I have to say about this film is that it was a disappointing, lackluster finale, because quite frankly, Freddy Krueger deserved a lot better than this. And that's my review of Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this movie. Alright, this is Slim Guy 172 saying, peace out.